This is how to improve your Roblox game stats fast. So this video is going to be for you if your stats absolutely suck. I'm talking average play time, D1, D7, payer conversion rate, average revenue per paying user, QPTR. We're going to go over all of it. I'm going to show you the exact methodology and mental model that I used to take this game Hack a Business to a peak of 1K CCU today. Probably going to hit 2K this weekend. Okay. Nearly all green stats besides D7 is a little cooked, which I'll explain. And this game is currently making 6K USD per month. When I first started working on this game, these stats aren't where they are today. And it's thanks to the developer. Shout out to you, David. He's hardworking. He updated daily, sometimes twice a day, and he followed the data. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how both me and David, because I am a co-owner in this game, Hack a Business, scaled this game, again, to 1K CCU, 6K USD per month, within just 2 weeks of launching. So, without further ado, if your stats suck, this video is for you. Let's get into something called iterative updates. I'm going to give you a quick overview of how I would improve each stat, what each stat means, my personal opinion. Let's just get this out of the way. So, average playtime. If it's low, that means your core loop sucks. It means it's not satisfying. Every little action in the game should have a sound effect or a visual effect. Okay, so what I mean is, like, for example, if I have a pickaxe and I go to hit a rock, there should be a sound effect when I hit the rock. Okay. And there should be a little camera shake, okay? It is basically satisfying gameplay, okay? Action and response. D1, if you have low D1, usually it's your onboarding / tutorial that is absolutely cooked. You don't have a good tutorial. You need to track using funnels. If you guys don't know what funnels is, which I'm shocked that how many freaking devs I've met that don't use funnels to track. You need to go here, analytics, funnels, okay? And track your actual tutorial completion rates. Okay, you can see we're tracking every single step in our tutorial here. Okay, and the biggest thing when it comes to tutorials is show, don't tell. Okay, let the player see direct cause and effect of their actions. Example, grow a garden. Player plants seed. They see seed grow into a carrot. Okay, that's a learning experience. When I do this, this happens. Rather than just saying, hey, seeds are used to make carrots. You have to show them, give them the opportunity to actually act. I mean, think about how you learn as a toddler, right? Do you learn by your dad telling you this is how you catch a baseball with a baseball glove? Or do you learn by actually catching a ball with a baseball glove? Okay, it's really that simple. D7, I'm going to be honest, I am not the best guy when it comes to D7. But usually, is there a social flex element in the game? Does the game have enough content, admin abuses, and events? Shout out Lucky Matt G if you're watching this video in the Discord. This guy is the GOAT when it comes to admin abuses. Okay. Payer conversion rate. Easiest quick win for you guys. Always have a starter pack. Make it cheap. Consumable dev products. What I mean by that is it's something that can be bought again and again. Something we do for Hack a Business is every time they get offline earnings, and they go to collect it, there's a prompt that says, hey, would you like to double your offline earnings for 19 Robux? That's drastically increased our payer conversion rate. Okay. Average revenue per paying user, which is, of course, this stat. This is going to come from your game passes. Make sure you have expensive game passes for your whales. Okay. I learned this from both Hack a Business and Farm or Die. Small, medium, and large fries, right? You go to McDonald's, you get small, medium, or large. Usually you want 3 options. For our game, we have a starter pack, we have a pro pack, and we have an OP pack. OP pack is most expensive. Pro pack is mid-price range. Starter pack is cheapest. Okay. QPTR. I've made tons of videos on this. This is probably my best wheelhouse is marketing. So packaging, right? What's packaging? Thumbnail and title. Okay. This is just a quick overview of how I would improve each stat. Okay. Now, what's more important, what I want to teach you guys is the mental model that I highly recommend. And this is actually a mental model I formed running conversion rate optimization and A/B tests for 8 and 9 figure e-com brands. Okay. this mental model I'm about to share with you. I have yet, not to toot my own horn, I've yet to see a dev put it the way I'm explaining it to you guys. And I'm going to try to break it down super simply. So the question is always, how do I improve my stats? Okay. And the answer always is you need to understand your data. Okay. Now, when I worked in the e-com space, it was all about reading data. You gotta figure, like, I'm in a position, right? I'm working on a 9-figure e-com brand. They're trusting me to make a change on their website, and it's super risky. If I make the wrong change, I could cost them a ton of money. Okay. So what did I do? I took a lot of time to do research and look at data to make informed decisions on what to change on their website. Now, it's the exact same mental model for a Roblox game. Okay, so what do? Let's say we want to improve average play time. Before we can do this, you guys first need to understand, this is the way I look at it. Every fix or update you publish to your game is really just an educated guess, okay? AKA, it's a hypothesis. If you remember the scientific method in like 8th grade, it's basically this. You're always either adding, removing, or improving something in your game. Might sound straightforward, but these are examples of what a hypothesis will look like. If I add Y feature, then X stat will improve. If I remove Y feature, then X stat will improve. If I improve Y feature, then X stat will improve. Okay? You can change the word feature with action, economy, progression, right? You can change that word. It's interchangeable. But this is an example of what it looks like to form a hypothesis, okay? So basically what we're doing before we launch an update to improve our stat, because remember our goal is to improve a specific stat, we need to form kind of an educated guess. That's the easiest way to put it, right? And this educated guess is going to be either adding, removing, or improving something in your game, okay? Now, what we want to do before we just launch updates willy-nilly and hot fixes, okay, is we want to look at as much data as possible to give our educated guess the highest chance of succeeding. So to have the highest chance of success, you want to cross-reference multiple data points to strengthen your hypothesis, okay? Don't get discouraged or overwhelmed with fancy terms if you feel like this is like overwhelming. I'm going to try to break this down super simply. But the TLDR is you want to look at tons of data to make sure you are making the best possible educated guess. Okay, I'm going to show you guys an example of what this looks like for Hack a Business, okay? Before I do that, real quick, just understand there's 2 types of data, okay? The first is called qualitative data. What is qualitative data? Qualitative data is basically, it's like your voice of the player, okay? This is direct feedback from players in your surveys. So if you go here, you go to audience feedback, okay? This is all qualitative data, okay? It's basically any data that's not numbers. It's usually words, people are saying things. It's also, you know, bug reports in your game's Discord. And my personal favorite one, watching what players do live in the game. Okay, let's read a quick definition. Qualitative data is descriptive, non-numerical information that captures concepts, opinions, emotions, and behaviors. It answers the why and how behind a subject. Instead of measuring how much of something exists, it describes the qualities or characteristics of an experience. This is the most overlooked thing in Roblox development, in my personal opinion. Okay, a lot of devs want to just look at numbers in their dashboard, but in my opinion, this is the most overlooked data source. Qualitative data, specifically watching players live in game, is my personal favorite. Okay, that's qualitative data. Second type of data is quantitative data. Okay, what is that? Quantitative data is any information that can be counted, measured, and expressed in numerical values. This is all of your stats, basically. This is all quantitative data. Okay. So simply put, it's numbers, you know, your funnels, new user first session retention. It's anything with numbers is quantitative data. Okay. Third honorable mention place to look for quote unquote data is competitor research. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's looking at games that are in your genre that are crushing you. Okay. The top games in your genre. Okay. So again, to wrap this back up, bring it full circle, we want to improve average playtime, okay? what we need to look at is our qualitative data, our quantitative data, and do some competitor research to form a hypothesis in order to make an update in hopes that it will improve a specific stat. Okay, so I want to improve average playtime. Step one, what am I going to do? I'm going to go do research. I'm going to analyze both qualitative and quantitative data and do a little bit of competitive research. Let me show you an example of an update that we pushed live for Hack a Business that improved the average playtime. Okay, so this guy came into our Discord. This is qualitative data. Again, voice of the player, suggestion. Mode and settings to make an antennas target random servers or not, how it would work. Each antenna on a plot targets a random server on the plot until it's full, then goes to another server, blah, blah, blah. If you guys have played Oil Empire, basically what this guy was saying is when you go to play Oil Empire, okay, you can collect gas from multiple refineries at once. Okay, our game is I don't want to say clone, but heavily inspired by Oil Empire. Okay, the issue was you could only collect data from one server at a time. This guy was suggesting, hey, what if I could collect data from multiple servers at a time? That's our qualitative data. So that's one piece of evidence that gets me thinking, okay, I'm starting to form a hypothesis. If I add this feature, it will improve average playtime. What do I do next? I go do some competitor research. I look at the biggest game in the genre and I see, does this game have this feature? Okay, yes or no? If the answer is yes, I now have two pieces of data that are pointing towards this update being a good idea. The update being I should make it so all servers can have data collected from them at once. Okay, I now have two pieces of evidence that point towards this being a good idea for something to ship. Okay, now I go look at my quantitative data. Okay, I look at new user first session retention. This is one of my favorite metrics. If you go here under analytics to engagement, okay, I always usually like to look at 7-day windows. You scroll down here, you can see this right here. Okay, for all my content creators, this is basically like your hook and retention rate. Now I can see there is a decent steep drop off at around the 2-minute and 30-second mark. So what I could do is I could go into my game, I could type in 5-minute timer on Google, go into my game, start this timer, play through the tutorial, and see what is actually happening at the 2-minute and 30-second mark that is causing this drop off. Okay, let's say it is something related to what this guy was saying. You guys get where I'm going with this. I now have 3 pieces of evidence that is strengthening my educated guess. Okay, and my educated guess is being if I change this feature in my game, aka how the player actually collects data from the server. If you go play Hack a Business, you'll know what I'm talking about. Then average playtime will increase. Notice how I don't just look at one piece of evidence. I'm looking at player feedback. I'm looking at competitors. I'm looking at my actual metrics. I have 3 pieces of evidence now to strengthen my educated guess and increase the chances that this change to my game will improve that specific metric. Okay, so what do I do now? I form a hypothesis. If we make it so all servers can collect data at the same time, then it will make for a more engaging user experience, especially on mobile, therefore increasing average playtime. This is my hypothesis. Now, what do? I simply make the change and I ship the update. Okay, I push that update live and I check the data. Did it improve average playtime? Yes or no? If no, we need to go back to the drawing board, revert the change, and come up with a new hypothesis. This is the very simple mental model when it comes to improving your stats. What is the key takeaway? You want to cross-reference several data points to increase the strength of your educated guess. Okay? Literally updating your game, even creating a game loop is just an educated guess. You could technically say everything in game development is an educated guess. Okay? Technically. Now, this is how you win more often than not. So what is the process? Okay? It's research. What is research? Qualitative data. Okay. What's qualitative data? I put it right here. This is direct feedback from players and surveys, reports in your games and Discord. watching players live in the game. Okay. So I'm looking at qualitative data. I'm also looking at quantitative data. Okay. What's quantitative data? That's your stats. If I can spell, holy cooked. Okay. And then competitors. This is how you improve your stats. This is the mental model. Okay. Research. What's step 2? Form hypothesis. That's supposed to be 2. Chill. Okay. Okay. Launch update. That's 3. Okay. What's 4? Check results. Check results. Did it work? Yes or no? If yes, awesome. Go back to doing more research, come up with your next hypothesis. If no, awesome. Revert to change, go back to doing research, form another hypothesis, and launch another update. This is the iterative cycle, okay? This is the exact thought process and mental model that I used to improve conversion rate of 9-figure e-commerce brands. And it's the exact same mental model that I've used in combination with David just executing like an absolute beast and being an absolute beast of a developer. Go follow him on Twitter. To improve stats, to get this game to the point where it's at, where it's making $6K USD a month within 2 weeks of launching. This is the mental model. Okay? I don't know how much more sauce I can give you guys. This is literally it. If you have any questions, just ask me in the Discord. Hope you guys got value from this video. Peace and love.